Join me today as we ask ourselves important questions about the show Alien Earth. Now that the first two episodes are out, like, does Alien work on the small screen, or is it any good? This is the Geek Cabal channel. If you've not been here before, my name is Bobbie, and if you see some of our other videos that I'll link to, you can tell I'm something of a fan of the Alien franchise. So are the other folks here on the channel. It's not just me, but so we collectively are fans of the Alien franchise. And well, last night, so this is Wednesday of this week, the series Alien Earth premiered with the first two episodes. I'm going to talk non-spoilers. I'm going to try to keep this whole video fairly short. Here goes nothing. So there will be spoilers in a moment. I'm not going to go through all the blow-by-blow of the plot like I normally do. I'm going to, again, try to keep this brief. So first of all, I thought I was going to have to get Hulu to watch this. I didn't realize it was also going to be on FX, which I do have. So I went ahead and watched the first two episodes. I had to catch the second airing because I didn't realize, so I didn't start. I didn't want to jump in the middle.
Hey, maybe you haven't been keeping up on current events.
So, overall impressions. I liked what I'm seeing. No issues with the actors or anything. It is a broadly diverse cast if you care about such things. And I've argued before, future sci-fi is where you do this and no one's going to bat an eye, and that's what's happening here. So, overall, like I said, I liked what I saw. It is, without going super into it, it does seem to be exploring some of the more transhumanism elements that have been introduced to the franchise over time, notably beginning with Prometheus, I think is where we really started seeing that. I suppose you could argue Alien Resurrection, but Prometheus is where it's like, you can tell it's been a concentrated effort to explore other elements of the franchise. And so you're seeing that here. Yes, the Xenomorph is in it. It's in both the episodes. It is mainly treated as a force of nature and a killing machine, which is what it is. And we, as the audience, know its potential destructive power. And only one member of the cast seems to understand that at this point. And the other members don't know what they have on their hands. So, does it work on the small screen? Yes, it looks fantastic. This show probably has a really high budget. It takes place, I think, a couple decades after Alien, so I believe this is, I had to check the timeline, but I believe this is after Alien, but before Romulus. And we have a situation where Earth is ruled by 5 major corporations, one of which is Weyland-Yutani. And the other one that we're concerned with is, I believe, called Prodigy. The youngest tech trillionaire runs it. So, without going super into the plot, essentially they're trying to find some pathway to immortality. And the good folks at Prodigy have decided on, why don't we just put people's minds into robot bodies? Because the robots are superior to human form, and as long as the power keeps going to them, they're functionally immortal. So, this is presumably branching off of some of the ideas explored with David from Prometheus and Alien Covenant, where he pondered that his creator, Mr. Weyland, was mortal while he was not. And, some things from that. There's more going on there. I have my suspicions that I'll get to in a moment. But the other elements of the plot are that Weyland-Yutani sent a ship out to collect alien specimens on like a 60-year mission or something. And it's on its return flight, and as it gets close to Earth, catastrophe strikes. We don't see everything that happened. Presumably the Xenomorph got loose. And then, or someone got facehuggered, and, then the navigation system is compromised, so they can't prevent the fact it's going to collide. It's going to ram Earth, and so it does. But it doesn't land in an area Weyland-Yutani controls. It lands in an area controlled by Prodigy. So the CEO's like, well, I guess it's ours now. Send in some people to collect the samples. Now, that's about all I'm really going to talk about as far as the plot. But yes, like I said, there is a Xenomorph, but there are also the other alien creatures, which the one or two we see are, horrifying. And there's more to come, because we didn't see all of them in action. So that's nice to see that there is other life in the alien universe that is also incredibly hostile. And yeah, like I said, it's not really centered on the Xenomorph so far. It's centered on like everything else that's happening. It's just a background element that we who've seen the movies understand what it represents. and the true threat it represents to Earth. Because it's not just the xenomorph, it's not just the one or two facehuggers, there's a few eggs on board too. So, and most of the cast seems to be oblivious to the true threat all this represents. And it seems to be focusing more on the whole transfer consciousness into robots and everything involved in that. So, looking forward to see where that goes. The only actor I recognize is Timothy Olyphant. He plays a robot who seems to be, like, his job is to kind of oversee the people that have been transferred into robot bodies. They were kids because they had terminal illnesses. So, yeah, overall, like I said, looks great. We have the xenomorph without centering on the xenomorph. That's interesting. Gives us room to explore other things about the alien universe. This is really the only look at Earth we've really gotten in any real detail in any alien anything. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with this. I don't recall if Ridley Scott, what kind of a hand he had in this. But like I said, atmosphere-wise, it's pretty cool. Since we have no clue what the other alien creatures are capable of, there's room for wowing us there. Environmentally, like the ship, the exploration ship that has all the creatures on board, looks very much like the Nostromo. They paid a lot of attention to detail to make it look like it would fit in the alien universe, like the interiors and everything. As far as I can tell, he just took the set from the Nostromo, if it's still around somewhere, and built around that. It has a computer similar, Mother, the same exact kind of layout for the room. The doors look similar, the areas like the exposed piping and everything. They paid a lot of attention to detail, and it looks like, if it weren't for the fact the other movie were made in 1979, so the film stock looks a little different. If it weren't for that, you would not be able to tell that this was just made compared to that. So, to me, that's great. And there's even like the crew sitting around eating stuff, and some of them almost look like the crew members from the Nostromo. Just the setup, the guys squabbling over the rights and everything. Like, there was a lot of attention to the little details put into this to make it all look seamless and to really remind you of Alien. So that's good in my opinion. And then we've switched over to the actual plot now that we're past the little bit of nostalgia there. But and it looks fantastic, like I said. So yeah, interested to see where it goes. I think there's 8 more episodes maybe. They're going to be released singly on Tuesdays after this, but this was the first 2. And they're on FX and also on Hulu. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Just in case you've gotten this far and you don't know where I stand on everything with the Alien franchise, I think Alien and Aliens are tied for the best movie in the series. Different reasons, they are different movies. Alien is horror, Aliens is action. Aliens is one of the best action movies ever made. Possibly my favorite James Cameron movie. It's a toss-up. I really like The Terminator, so don't know for sure. But then Alien 3, I feel, was an attempt to recapture the horror of the first one that ultimately failed, but it's still an okay movie. I think Alien Resurrection is the low point of the franchise. It's not a bad movie, but it's not a great movie. And if I had my choice, I probably wouldn't watch it many more times. But, it is what it is. Prometheus was an interesting restart. Covenant, I thought Covenant was good. I know people seem to really trash talk it, but I thought it was good. It could have been better. I'm not going to say it's on par with the others. I do think, now mind you, this is from like one viewing in the theaters. I haven't rewatched it since, but I do think Romulus is probably like in the running for 3rd place in the series, with the 2 tied for first. Obviously, the other one would be, whichever one isn't first would be second. So Romulus is right behind Alien and Aliens, in my opinion. But again, that's me watching it once. That could just be nostalgia bait talking, But this does seem to be a worthy entry into the franchise, and I do look forward to seeing where things go. So, my speculation, so minor spoilers right here, my minor speculation is that they're going to find out that the kids, that it's not like a full transfer, it's a copy of their minds into the robot bodies, and that their bodies are now dead. So there's no going back, and their actual physical form is dead, and that they are in fact just a copy. And they might react kind of poorly to that, realizing that they are literally just robots now. They just happen to have the minds of human beings. But over time, that will cause them to become more and more inhuman, because they're not human, and they will no longer think that they're human. That's my speculation. The xenomorph, obviously, it's only going to go so far. I would imagine Weyland-Yutani does not wind up with it back in its control. We might see some inkling that they intentionally have been trying to get the samples of it. Like we might find out that they intentionally sent the Nostromo to LV-426, and we might see some things about that, some background stuff. Might see some shout outs to Prometheus and Covenant. Never know. But like I said, overall, looking forward to it. So anyway, that's all I've got on this one. Let me know if you saw it down in the let me know down in the comments if you saw it or if you plan on watching it. It comes on Tuesdays, like I said, on FX and Hulu, and a few. I think there are 8 more episodes. I think, but we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do like weekly updates on this because we have a lot of material still left over from Gen Con I've got to sort through, and I'm trying to. My goal is a video every other day, as I mentioned in the channel update. And doing this weekly will take one of those slots, unless I have the time to make one of these videos, and so we'll see what happens there. But other than that, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Sharing and commenting helps grow the channel. It was appreciated. Subscribing, obviously, is the name of the game here on YouTube. And thank you for everyone that helped us get over the 500 hump recently. And hopefully you stick with us. And be sure to check out our other alien videos if you're interested in the topic in general. But other than that, just remember, in space, no one can hear you scream.
Game over, man. It's game over.